Okay, today's video is a little different. Instead of checking out a new paddle, I want to talk about my new favorite pickleball glasses. These are the Drift glasses from CRBN, and they are super unique, which completely makes sense, as CRBN is a company that has a reputation of being a real category disruptor when it comes to innovation. It started a long time ago as they were on the vanguard with grit and raw carbon fiber surfaces, and we're seeing it again with their upcoming TruFoam release, which I know a lot of people are excited about. Sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to let you know I've been able to get my hands on a TruFoam, so stay tuned until later in the video if you want a sneak peek. I think it's worth it. But don't forget about their X series, formerly their Power series, which is just about as good of a line as you can find. In fact, I've done a full review on what I think is their most underrated paddle in their arsenal. Here's a link for anyone curious. And I'm actually working on a full breakdown of the entire X series now. If that's something you think would be helpful, please let me know down in the comments. And while innovation and pushing the limits is part of CRBN's DNA, they've also proven that they've learned a few lessons over the years as well. Some that Yola and Gearbox and a lot of the other companies would have benefited taking into account themselves. And while CRBN's next generation paddles has taken a little longer than many of us would have liked, that trailblazing disruptor energy is very present in how they've tackled other pickleball gear as well. And that's especially true with the eye protection category with their latest release of the Drift Pickleball Glasses. And we're going to talk all about them. But first, I wanted to let you know CRBN is letting me give 3 of these babies away for free. That's right, 3 pairs to 3 lucky winners. So be sure to stick around until the end of the video to see how to enter. But if you want a head start, you can go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I also wanted to let you know I'm working on some more videos covering my favorite pickleball accessories, so be sure to subscribe because I found some really cool stuff you won't want to miss. But if you want a sneak peek, I've got a list down in the video description of a lot of the gear I've been testing out, as well as a link to all my favorite pickleball gear you can find on Amazon, so don't be afraid to click around. Plus, I have a link to this t-shirt for one of my new favorite pickleball brands called Flamingo Pickleball. They've got a ton of awesome designs to choose from, and they're super high quality. Every time I wear one of their shirts at Open Play, I always get a reaction. Promo code MatthewK will get you a discount with them, and I think they're definitely a company worth checking out. But now, let's talk glasses. First, do you even need pickleball glasses? Isn't this a super safe sport? What's the point? Well, if you're like me, you probably started out playing pickleball and never once thought about eye protection. When I first started playing, glasses only ever got mentioned when somebody did a lob up into the sun. Aside from that, you just played and never worried about any kind of eyewear. But things have changed. Since the introduction of Gen 3 paddles that kicked the power race off last year, a lot of paddles have gotten freaking hot. But that's not the real problem in my eyes, pun intended. The real scary part is that there always seems to be a new player at Open Play that can barely hit a fly with a fly swatter that's ponied up a bag of cash for the latest greatest bazooka that just got released. And that's before they've learned how to keep score, let alone any sort of basic control. I actually learned this lesson the hard way when I mixed in with some random players out here in Los Angeles way back, and one of them had a super pricey paddle that was incredibly powerful. And I incorrectly assumed they were experienced and knew what they were doing, because they had invested some serious money into the sport based off that paddle alone. But he had a couple other players in his group, and it looked like he was trying to teach them the game. So I hopped in as their fourth, and I'm talking to the person I got partnered with as we were starting out the game, and then all of a sudden, I get slammed in the face with a ball. And I was at the very back of the baseline, and this ball was eye level, so that's really not a shot I was even considering coming my way. I had very incorrectly assumed, as I said, that the player wielding the crazy pickle cannon that cost a week's pay knew what they were doing. And sadly, they did not. Fortunately, it was a bright day and I was actually wearing sunglasses at the time, so it was not the worst case scenario. However, the pace on the ball was so much, I had indentations on my face from my glasses frames for at least a day or so after. And that's why I now always wear pickleball glasses, even at night and indoors. Because accidents happen, even with the seemingly most experienced players. It's just a little bit of an insurance policy. So maybe you've had a similar experience, but why pick the Drift glasses from CRBN in particular? Well, to be honest, anything is better than nothing. Even some cheap sunglasses or safety glasses from the dollar store will help. But I'm pretty particular, and I don't ever want my game to be affected at all with my eyewear choice. And so actually, I have always used the older CRBN pivot glasses, as they were pretty much the only pickleball specific glasses on the market when they were released. And this was around the time I took that shot to the eye I just told you about, as well as another one to the face that grazed me to where I bled. And so after getting the pivot glasses, I felt super secure whenever I was playing, no matter who was across from me on the other side of the net. They did absolutely everything I wanted. I could see clearly through them, they're comfortable, and they could take a beating both on the court and in my bag while still looking brand new. I just really love them. In fact, after getting the pivot glasses, I had the chance to test and review a lot of other pickleball glasses. I reviewed some from Asti's that I really like. You can watch that video here. And I'm also a big fan of Briodi's glasses as well, which I've always really liked their look. But even after trying other options, I always found myself turning back to the pivots. Once again, I loved how durable they were, and the functionality was top notch and everything I wanted. No issues with fogging or weird aberrations. They were always just very easy to see through with a lot of clarity. And I also liked having the option to swap out lenses super easily, and they have a lot of choices from clear lenses to sunglasses and even extra ones with different colors. Plus, they came with a super nice case to keep them safe in my bag, and I always really liked that. But then I got to try Carbon's newest glasses, the Drift. And I discovered improvements that I didn't even know I wanted. For example, I absolutely love how the Drift glasses have a more casual look. I can wear these out and about and feel just fine. The original pivots definitely have a more goggle look, even when you remove the bottom frame like I do. And then I think Carbon really improved the arms of the glasses. They made them of a very pliable rubber now that's super easy on the ears, even when you're wearing a hat. And then they also kept the swappable lens feature as well. However, I will say these are a little trickier to swap out compared to the original version. You have to be pretty careful, especially with these mirrored finish lenses, otherwise you could damage them. Carbon put out a good how-to video, which I'll be sure to link, that walks you through it. But the gist is you need to push the lens out with both thumbs close to the inside of the nose and make sure you don't bend the lens at all at the bridge. Otherwise, you risk cracking the mirror finish. To be honest though, that's not really an issue for me because I actually don't swap lenses out that much anymore. For me, I actually use the transition lenses all the time now on these, which is great for all types of conditions. Bright sunlight, indoors, night, whatever. And I love how they work. One thing that really highlights why the transition lenses are such a game changer for me is that they're perfect for that weird time of day when the sun is setting but the court lights haven't kicked on. That's the hardest time of visibility for me, and that transition lens helps a ton in that scenario, which used to be a huge pain point for me. Finally, I also really like the change Carbon made with the new case for the Drift glasses. It's got a flatter profile than the OG pivot case and is a lot easier to pack away. I think it's a very nice update. And before we talk value, I also wanted to highlight Carbon's pickleball bags, which are some of my favorite ones on the market. This is the OG Carbon Pro Team Tour bag from a couple of years ago. This has been my daily driver for just about as long as I've played pickleball. It's got a ton of space for all the random stuff I take to the courts, including a dedicated compartment for balls, as well as insulated side pockets that can hold up to 6 paddles, which is crucial for me since I'm always taking a lot of paddles to test whenever I go out to play. And I've always loved the carbon fiber look of this bag, plus the material is super durable and holds up really well. And this bag has actually become really popular where I play out here in Southern California, and I see them all the time. So much so, I've got to make sure I grab the right one whenever I leave. And that brings me to their updated version, which now comes in this awesome gray option, which really stands out at open play. Aside from the new color option, the biggest change is that the updated version is set up where one of the paddle compartments can actually zip off, so you can have a super small profile bag when you don't need to take as much stuff to the court. And the tour bag is priced at $126 after you use promo code MatthewK or promo code MatthewK10 to knock off 10%. And I think that's super competitive for this space, especially for the quality of Carbon's bags in particular. However, if you think you might only use the zip off function or don't have a lot of stuff to carry, you might want to look at Carbon's Pro Team Sling bag instead. This is ideal for folks that don't take a lot of gear to the courts, but still want something sleek to carry their paddles and hold on to their wallet and keys and whatnot as they slam balls. And this one is only $54 after promo code MatthewK or promo code MatthewK10 knocks off that 10%. And that's an absolute steal in my opinion. Then if you want something between the Pro Team Tour and the Pro Team Sling, they have the Pro Team Backpack, which offers functionality between the two. And this one's only $99 after promo code MatthewK or promo code MatthewK10 knocks off that 10%. And I think that's super, super competitive as well. And one thing to highlight is that all 3 bags have very good fence hooks built in. Whenever a company advertises a bag as being for pickleball but doesn't include this feature, it really annoys me. So I'm glad to see Carbon includes that throughout their entire line, even the budget options. Okay, I promised a sneak peek of Carbon's new paddle and next innovation in the pickleball space, and here it is. This is the elongated version of Carbon's next gen paddle called the TruFoam Genesis. And I've been fortunate to have the chance to hit with this already. However, I'm not allowed to say anything about how it plays or what I think about it until its release on January 30th. But I'll pause here and include an emoji that may or may not convey some of my feelings. Also, Carbon did send out an email to subscribers detailing that this paddle is 100% foam, which is very unique for a next-gen paddle, and it's also fully approved for tournament play by both USAP and UPAA, as well as PB Core 43 certified. And they now have a page on their site as well with more info detailing that this paddle has been 18 months in development and has gone through 200 prototypes. You can access this link via Carbon's Instagram account, and I'll be sure to leave it below as well. If you go to that page, you can sign up to get immediate access once the paddle launches on January 30th. And regardless of performance or my actual impression of how it plays, which I can't talk about, I can say based off the amount of time this paddle has been in the works, it's clear Carbon took their time with this thing to make sure they got it right. And based solely off the fact that this paddle has secured all the certifications I've already mentioned, it seems pretty undebatable that Carbon's patience has had a massive payoff. With that info alone, you could easily purchase one of these on the day of its release and not have to worry about the kind of drama we've seen with Yola and Gearbox and some of the other next-gen paddle releases, and that is super important in my opinion. But beyond that, I really can't say anything else, but if you want to hear my thoughts later on, please subscribe to the channel and I'll do my best to get a review out as close to its release as possible. As for the value of Carbon's drift glasses, they're priced just like the OG pivots, so you can get a pair for about 85 bucks after promo code MatthewK or promo code MatthewK10 knocks off that 10%. And I think that's a super good value. I love that they have all the functionality I could ask for, but look super clean. I really think these might be the perfect pickleball glasses. And my hope is I'll be saying something similar whenever Carbon's TruFoam paddles finally get released. And I'm pretty certain everyone's going to need some pickleball glasses once those things start showing up at open play. As for the CRBN Drift Pickleball Glasses giveaway, all you need to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment why you'd like a pair, and then fill out the Google form in the description so I have a way to contact you if you win. And that's how one winner will be selected. I will choose 2 more winners from folks that do everything I just said, plus follow me on Instagram at MatthewK I'll be sure to include a link to my Instagram account in the video description, as well as the Google form for the folks that want 2 more chances at winning. And that's it. I'll run the raffle in about a month, so be on the lookout for an email. Good luck. And that's all I've got. If you found this review helpful, please consider using promo code MatthewK on your next paddle purchase to help support the channel. I have a lot of the popular brands listed below, and my master list has even more. And I'll be sure to leave a link for Carbon's site at the very top. Don't forget to use promo code MatthewK or MatthewK10 to get that 10% discount. You can also support the channel by purchasing some of the cool pickleball gear I've been testing out by using the links and codes in the video description below. I also have a link to my favorite pickleball gear you can get on Amazon down there as well, and that's got some really cool hidden gems you wouldn't expect. And then of course, hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and slamming that notification bell all go a long way to helping me out as well. Thank you so much for the support. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon, and just don't forget, it's about having fun.